Okay, after we just finished the last module on tragedy of the commons and clear cutting, now we're going to jump to module 31, which is all about ecological footprints. And so ecological footprints are an environmental assessment tool that are used to determine how we're using resources. And we use the unit of measurement as basically being or equaling how much land it would take to sustain an individual that might use resources at a certain level. As you can imagine, or something that you need to know as you're reading through these pages is what is a footprint? Why do we measure this? And then how do we actually calculate it? We're going to be using a footprint calculator in class to not only look at our ecological footprint, but also the carbon footprint, which is, how much carbon that we're actually putting into the atmosphere based on how we live in our society. As you can imagine, the United States has a very large footprint. And you can see here, this is a really important table to know. The United States requires 8 hectares of land per person, whereas Germany requires 4.7, and you can see it going down all the way to what is our fair Earth share based on the number of people. So if we divided the amount of land up on Earth equally per person that's on the planet, how many acres would it take to support one person? And it's about 1.6 acres. You can see that doesn't cut it for those of us here in the United States. Excuse me. So we are using way more resources than really what we should be allocated to use here in the United States. And so we'll talk about ways in class of how we could reduce our footprints overall. And that's something that's important to know. All right. You should also know what the difference is between ecological and carbon footprints, so make sure that you understand that. And then that is it for 5.11 ecological footprints, and we're done with module 31. See you next time for sustainability.